Remove your helmet and tell me your name.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance, in this life or the next.
Yeah. Woo. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Woohoo! Welcome back to another episode of Convos with your mom's favorites with host Moe and Greg. I am Mo.
I am Greg.
And we are back. We are back with another episode for who?
The people.
Uncle G, how are you?
I am good, nephew. How are you?
I am doing great because Christmas time
is here.
Is here. I am great, man.
Have you defrosted the Ice Queen yet?
Oh, she's been defrosted.
She's been defrosted?
I think it was first week of this month.
Oh, you already defrosted us since then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, she does it herself now because she's taken to over the last couple. I think she started like 2 or 3 years ago, where she has a video where she's in like a Halloween setting.
Yeah. And
then she like waves her hand, and then it switches to her in a Christmas outfit.
Okay, I never saw that one. The one that I remember is the one with her encased in ice, and they're standing around her with heat blowers, and they're thawing her out.
Yeah. So I'm glad she's in on the joke now, and the
Ice Queen is free.
She is free. Christmas time is here and in full effect, as you can see if you just look around the background of what we're doing. Shirts are
Shirts are
in
here,
effect, in
full effect
for the duration of the year.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It is. It is. So yeah, we are here to talk about things and stuff.
And stuff and things.
And one of the things, right, that I would just love to start off with. I recently started watching a new series over the weekend. And by over the weekend, I mean I binged watched 8 episodes on Saturday.
Wow.
I binge watched 8 episodes on Saturday.
Wow.
I had nothing better to do. I had a lot of time to kill. So what better thing than to start a new series?
And you were at work.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was the day you had all the free time.
All the free time.
Okay.
So I was just like,
gotta
love being on standby. So perfect time.
That was a good time.
Go through a show.
Yeah.
So I did that, and the show is Say Nothing. It is an FX series. And I'm gonna be honest, I should have. This is bad on my part. I didn't take the time to learn any of the actors' names.
Okay. Go ahead.
There is no one in the show that I recognize from anything else ever, which is great because it's a show set in Ireland during I think it starts off in like the 70s.
Yeah.
In the 1970s in Ireland, about the IRA and their war with Great Britain to free themselves, to liberate themselves in the country of Ireland from Great Britain. So I do think that is great that they didn't find a whole bunch of non-Irish people to star in this series. Let's just start off there. The fact that they got like a completely Irish cast. Completely Irish cast.
And I'll tell you why. I looked at why. You're like a little eye roll. Not that I like that about the movie. It's just me. I have such a hard time with the Irish dialect.
Right.
I have a hard time understanding. And they were like really, these were not like affluent, these was like country Irish folk.
Yes.
So they were speaking like almost a whole different language. And it's always hard for me that was another reason why the movie that what's his name, Colin Farrell was in.
Yeah.
And
the Banshees of Inisherin.
That's why that movie didn't work for me, because it's so hard for me. I have to really, really, really lean in and really concentrate to understand what they're saying.
This is why you should just watch TV with subtitles. Everything you watch with subtitles.
You know what? And it did not occur to me to do that.
Yeah. Because the very first episode, I said, "Oh, this is strong."
Yeah,
and like I could make out most of it, but I was like, "There are parts,
oh my God,
that I cannot get."
I should have called you, man, for that advice.
So, like episode 1, I said, "Oh no, subtitles on."
Yeah,
because I don't want to have to keep rewinding to figure out what somebody said. I'm like, I want to just be able to just enjoy it and enjoy what I'm watching. So I put the subtitles on, and I have been loving it ever since.
There were several. I mean, no, not even several. There were a lot of times where I had to I had to keep rewinding because I'm like, I can't understand what he said, but I don't want to miss what they're saying because I'm sure it's crucial to the story.
Yeah,
and I kept rewinding it. I'm like, a couple of times I had to just say, you know what? I can't. I don't understand it. So I had to let it go. I wish I had thought about that.
Yeah,
but going forward, and when I see movies like that from now on, I will turn on the subtitles. Yeah,
turn on the subtitles.
I will turn on the subtitles.
It definitely helps, because I think even for this one, like they had a subtitle, but then there was I used the subtitles, but then for even certain words. Mm-hmm. They had they showed the word, but in like parentheses next to the word, they gave like the English translation of said word.
Wow. But just to get an understanding of how deep the dialect.
The dialect.
Yeah, the dialect was. Just how strong that was.
Yeah.
It was like, unless you're Irish or really, really familiar with Irish culture and Irish language, then and you would have a hard time. I mean, because you ask them this, well, I'm speaking English, and I'm like, no.
I mean, you are, but you know, that accent is strong. But again, the same thing could be said for, if we're being honest, us. If you're watching,
totally get it. Because I'm sure they probably look at some of our movies.
And I'm like, what the heck are you saying?
What are they talking about? Let me rewind that.
Yeah, let's rewind that and see what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But this show was great.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good story.
I love a good rebellion show.
Yeah.
Where we're just rebelling against the powers that be and just, freeing the people.
And it's interesting because I forgot. How dark that time was. I remember. When as they were showing stuff, I was remembering. I was like, that this stuff was always on the news, and you forget. You forget, which is crazy because, like they always say, if you forget the history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Yes,
you're doomed to repeat it. And so maybe this is a good thing to remind us that what, that you got to be careful how you treat people. Mm-hmm. You can only keep people down for so long before they've had enough. Before they've had enough, and they rebel.
Yeah, and they rebel. If we're being honest, not everyone is willing to take the peaceful approach.
No, everybody.
That's first and foremost, right? Not everyone is willing to take the peaceful approach, but then you get to a point where it's like, okay, we've tried peace. Mm-hmm. We've tried to be peaceful about this.
Yeah,
we've tried to, have conversations to, ask you to do this nicely, but enough is enough.
Yeah.
And now is time to push back.
Now it's time. It's like I read, somebody had quoted something during the time of Black Lives Matter. And they said, and it was a quote from a poem, and I'm paraphrasing it, but it said something to the effect that when I spoke, you didn't listen. When I yelled, you didn't listen. Now I'm screaming, and you'll listen. Mm-hmm. what you had in a movie like that, and in cases like that, you have and I said to somebody, I said, what you have here, what you have happening now is people whose voices have not been heard.
Yeah.
And they are now screaming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the screaming takes place and, like a car bomb. Mm-hmm. And like bombing things and blowing things up. And, looting. And it's like, fam, if you had sat down and like literally just, if these peace talks were something, just give the people their freedom. Stop trying to take over everything.
Let them give them what they want. They're free. They deserve that. They are not savages. They deserve the right to govern themselves. And to take care of themselves and to see how and the pursuit of quote unquote life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
They are deserving of that just like anybody else. And so I totally get it, especially from after watching this movie, because you're really getting into the grit of it. And because for me, this was all a learning experience because I was like, okay, this is cool. This is 1970. I was born in 91. So I don't remember seeing any of this. Because even when they got to like 1990, I think the last episode, I was on episode 8 and in like 1994, right? I was 3. Yeah.
So I didn't care.
What did you care about?
I wasn't watching this on the news, fam. I was trying to.
You wasn't watching the news anyway.
I wasn't watching the news anyway, fam. I was watching Sesame Street and Barney. Like, I didn't care about this I didn't care about this. No. So to actually see how this is playing out, this is like brand new and eye opener for me, right? And it just loves because I have always had an affinity for the culture of the Irish since I was little.
Wow.
Right. So I don't know what it is, but it's always just been like a thing for me. It could be tied to the fact, honestly, that I was a practicing Catholic for so long. So, that could all be interconnected somehow, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think I mentioned it like once or twice on this pod, even learning that, using the genealogy, that there is a very, very small portion of Irish in my blood was all the validation that I needed. All the validation that I needed. Right. So, having all this, watching this show and just learning, just about some of the struggles that they've gone through, it was very eye opening. And I am loving this show. I'm sitting there getting mad, right? Because you have your favorites in this show.
Yeah.
Right. And I love Dollars is her name. Mm-hmm. Because sis was like, I don't want to sit on the side. Like, she was very much, I don't want to sit on the sidelines in this fight. Yeah. And she was willing to do everything in her power to make sure that she was no longer on the side watching this and like in the action, in the fight. Because again, she was there for the peace part.
Yeah.
And so she saw how the peace part ended.
Yeah,
how it like didn't work, if we're being honest about it.
No, it didn't work.
Like she was there for the peace efforts and she saw what that got her.
They tried. And it was funny because the father warned them. Their father warned them. It's like, you can try it.
You can try. He was like,
try it, but
he was from the very beginning. He was like, listen, peace don't ever work.
Peace don't work. He's like, peace don't work.
He was like, you're gonna have to. He was like, I've always loved the phrase, you got to break an omelet if you want some eggs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to break some eggs if you want an omelet. Yeah. Early podcast episode, maybe title. Who knows? So, I've always loved, not always loved. So I appreciate, she's always had that from like a very young age growing up.
Yeah.
So, for her to just be like, you know what? I see. And it was great because even though she had that growing up, she herself tried.
She tried, yes.
To see it from the other side.
Yes. Yes. And then there was that time when they were on the march.
Yes.
And that was when she got enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
All upside her head.
All upside her head.
All upside her head. Enlightenment. Pop, 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 pop.
And listen, that is what happens sometimes.
And that's what happens.
That is like sometimes opening your eyes hurts.
Hurts. Oh my God. He's Lion King. It was like, he said the truth hurts when he hit him in. He had hit him in. He said, "Ow, that hurts." He said, "Yes."
Sometimes the truth hurts. But you can either run from it or learn
from it. And she chose to learn from it.
She chose to learn from it and became one of the most incredible people I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Her and her sister. Her sister. Marion, right?
I can't remember. Yeah.
I didn't think, like, because she was cool.
Yeah.
And she got, like, the fame and the notoriety,
yes.
right?
Yes.
But if we're being honest about it, should have gone to her sister.
The dark hair.
Yes. Because she was putting in work.
Yes. She will.
Like, don't get me wrong. Dolores was definitely putting in work.
Yeah.
But, her sister was putting in the work.
Yeah. I admire it because of how fearless.
Yes.
They were absolutely fearless. But and so was their mother.
Yes.
I was like, dang, mom is a gangster.
She was. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I just appreciate all that. Even what's his name? Jerry Adams. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I see you, Mr. Intellect. But then the further I watched, I was just like,
Yep.
Just the more I watched, the more I was like, bro, really? You a traitor like that?
Yeah.
To your own cause.
Wow. Yeah.
Traitor to your own cause.
Wow.
And then every time I was sitting there, I was like, somebody is snitch. Like when they was dealing with snitches, I was like, bro, no, get rid of them. Like, how can I tell you that they have snitched on you and that this is not going to go the way you want it because they telling on you? Like, how do I figure this out? How do I get the message to you, even though this has already happened, right?
Yeah.
This has already happened. How do I get the message to you that someone has snitched on you and I know who it is? And they've told, and they're going to try to foil your plan. It's not going to go how you want it to. And I'm just like, bro, just kill them all. Yeah. Kill them all.
Well, you talking about the two guys that they killed?
Yes.
Well, they did have a priest for him. When they pulled up, I know I would have been like, oh, this is not looking good.
Well, the one guy, he knew as soon as he got in the car.
Yeah, he did. He knew when he got in the car.
He knew when he got in the other kid, he was young and green around the ears. So he had no clue, and he was drunk.
Yeah, when they pulled up, the priest I was like, why is there a priest here?
We're like, oh, okay. All right.
But that's just so. But it was interesting. That just shows the level and the depth to which they would go, that they were willing to go. Because all right, we're getting ready to kill y'all, but we are concerned about your immortal souls.
Yes.
So we're going to have a priest here.
We're going to have a priest here, so you can,
to give you your last rites.
And it's crazy because they didn't even have to do that because snitching has always been in all forms.
Oh yeah,
and across all cultures, across all like races of people, creeds, cultures, everything.
Snitches get stitches.
Hello, like it's always been like a capital offense.
Yeah,
right.
Don't snitch.
Like people will forgive someone for murder. Yeah, but if you snitched on somebody. It's like, I can't ever trust you ever again in your life. But I'm sorry, you can't trust me because I snitched. But the guy who killed 8 people, you can forgive that and move on like he didn't kill 8 people. But I get it. That's neither here nor there. That is neither here nor there. Yeah. So, so it's great because they're not monsters.
No.
Because even though you've committed a capital offense, we'll still have a priest here so you can have last rites and be absolved of all your sins before you die.
And can make it into heaven.
Yes. And, he can pray you into heaven before we kill you.
Because that's on us.
That's on us.
We're killing you. That's on us.
That's on us.
That's on us.
But the reason why, that's on you.
That's on you.
That's on you. So, I have not finished it. Again, I am mid episode 8, and we are seeing everyone is much older than when they start. I didn't know that they were that young when they started this whole thing.
They were kids.
I was like, bro. I was like, at 18, what was I doing at 18? I was trying to figure out how to get 2 TVs so I can play video games and watch TV at the same time. That's what I was doing at 18. I wasn't fighting in nobody's revolution at 18.
Nah. They were revolutionaries.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like crazy. No, not even trying to get 2 TVs. At 18, I was just trying to get a flat screen TV at 18 and trying to get rid of that big box screen. Yeah, I was trying to get rid of that. And, get a flat screen was the goal.
Yeah.
At 18, but I was like, I am impressed with this show.
Yeah.
Everyone
it was like I said, for me, it reminded me of that time and gave me a little bit more insight because, the news is only going to give you but so much.
Yeah.
But it gave you a lot more insight as to really what was going on.
Yeah.
What was going on there. And it was well played and the actors were good and again, it was a good story. And again, it was good. It's a good watch.
Definitely a good watch. All episodes are streaming on FX.
Use subtitles.
Yes.
Yeah. I would advise so that you don't
subtitles
so that you don't miss anything.
I mean, for most of like the generation my age or younger, we watch subtitles with everything anyway.
Really?
Yes. It's a way of life.
I do not watch subtitles. To me, it's like they annoy me. You know what? I will only watch subtitles if they're literally speaking another language.
Yeah.
So like a lot of Japanese movies.
Yeah.
And maybe a few Italian movies that I've watched that I don't speak the language and I have no clue as what they're saying. I'll turn the subtitles on.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
It started as a way of life. For me, it started when I started watching anime.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Because if you start watching anime, especially if you're watching subbed anime instead of dubbed anime, because just it is
there's a big difference.
It's you get looked at a certain way if you watch dubbed anime over if you watch subbed anime.
Yeah.
And it was one of the things I quickly learned on my intro into anime, or like my reintroduction into anime, that they look at you a certain way in the anime community if you're out here watching dubbed anime. So started watching subbed anime. And then it just kind of just transitioned to everything else. Because again, like these moments where let's say you're watching a movie and there are loud action things going on and that's always super loud, but then the conversation's really quiet. And unless you're like me and you're trying to figure out why that happens, and you figure out that is a setting on your TV that you can go in and change, it's always going to be something that's super frustrating to you. So in order to avoid this, when you have the low speaking scenes and you can't really hear what they're saying, again, to avoid having to rewind to try to hear what they're saying, if you just have the subtitles on, you can just read what they're saying and then keep going, and it doesn't take you out of the story.
Exactly.
So definitely watch this. It's on FX. All the episodes are streaming.
Yes.
Put on subtitles if you don't watch with subtitles already.
And it's and like I said, it's a fast watch because again, the episode's about 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
About 40 minutes long. So it's a fast watch.
Because I definitely didn't expect. I felt like I had been watching it for a long time. And I was like, I looked at my watch and I was like, that's all the time that has passed since I've watched this.
It feels like you're in the air, but I understand what you're saying because I felt the same way. It feels like that because of the intensity of the story. Yeah. And because you're trying to absorb. It's not, because the story is so intense and you're trying not, so it's like, it's not the type of show that you sit back and you just lean back and no, you turn your brain, turn off that part of your brain that really watches a show.
Yes.
But you're really absorbed into this.
Absolutely.
And you're kind of I found myself at some points, I'm sitting up, leaning forward, leaning in because I'm being drawn in. And I like those kind of shows.
Absolutely.
Love those kind of shows.
It is great. But before we go any further, I want to give a quick shout out to Wicked for breaking all the box office numbers this weekend.
Deservedly so.
And it's funny enough, the intro that I played for the pod was supposed to be because I was supposed to have seen Gladiator 2 before we recorded this pod. Because due to work, I have not gone to see it as of yet.
Yeah, I have not. I was going to try to see it this weekend, but was not able to. This was not a good weekend.
No. I heard it was really good though.
Yeah.
I definitely like to go see it because it's they're doing, thanks to Barbenheimer, we now have, it's Glicked.
Is that what they're called?
Glicked.
Glicked?
Glicked was this weekend. So, that is a thing. That was a thing this weekend. So just shout out to Wicked for the box office numbers that they have been doing. We got to go see it early. Our review of Wicked is up. It is live and it's available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. So if you are interested to know what we thought, just go click our page and you can check it out. But we mentioned something in that episode that I just wanted to circle back on. Okay. Because not last weekend, weekend before last, I went to see Red One.
Okay.
Now we're going to talk about the movie because I loved it.
I loved it too.
From beginning to end.
Yeah.
I can see this joining the rotation
of Christmas movies.
Movies that I watch
same thing. I said,
on a yearly
that
basis.
Will be in my heavy rotation movies for Christmas movies. Yeah.
Because this movie did not do well at the box office by any means. I don't even think they didn't even mention.
They're not even talking about it.
About what this movie did. This last weekend. Yeah. So I think that is unfortunate because how good this movie is, that it's just going to fade away. Yeah. To like the island of Misfit Christmas movies.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Right. So, but I think that's unfortunate because I think people were just, because of the caliber of actors, right?
Yes.
That were in this movie.
Yeah.
And even that could be used loosely determined because I'm learning that people don't feel the same way about The Rock and Ryan Reynolds and J.K. Simmons as like I do or like that. Really? I thought a lot of people felt. Yeah. There are a lot of people who don't like them. I personally I love Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, me too.
Right? I love Ryan Reynolds. He plays Ryan Reynolds in everything. But I'm sorry. I don't even need to mention him because Ryan Reynolds was not in this movie. I'm talking Chris Evans. Chris Evans.
Yeah, he's
Captain America.
Yeah.
So people expect like high level acting from him. People expect high level acting from J.K. Simmons, and it's The Rock. Yeah. People expect The Rock. But why were you expecting anything at all from this movie? Like you just said,
in a
Christmas movie.
Yes.
There hasn't been a new Christmas plot since It's a Wonderful Life came out.
Yeah, exactly. You already know where this is going.
You know where this is going.
You already know where this is going.
You know where this. All these are the same movies remixed with one or two funny, quirky things about them.
The only thing that would be different in a movie like this is if Christmas crashed.
Yes, was if the bad guy won.
If the bad guy won, then you would see. Then you could come back and really, really, really have something to talk about. But other than that, you already know what you're going to see. You know what's going to see. You know what you're going to see.
You know what you're going to see. So like when I went to go see this movie, right? I saw the trailer for this movie and I was like, I need to see this film. Mm-hmm. When I first saw the trailer, I said, I need to go see this film.
Yes.
Right? So I did. I went and saw the film. And I'm like, bro, going to see this, right? Mm-hmm. At best, my expectations were low.
Yeah. Yeah.
At best, they were low for this movie. So I had I was just like, I'm not expecting much from this at all. So when I went into this movie, I shut my brain off. And when I did that, let me tell you the amount of fun I got to have while watching this movie.
There you go. It was just fun.
It was fun. It was ridiculous. Parts of it was stupid.
Yeah.
I was just like, most of it didn't make any sense, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. It was fun to like Crumpus Slop. I was like, who would have thought I would enjoy watching Crumpus just slapping people? Crumpus Slop. Like that was just, I said kudos to the madman who thought of that.
Yeah, that was incredible. I was like,
just to have him in like this big castle, this dreary looking castle, and to just have him drinking and having slap contests.
That was incredible. That was a good one. That was a good scene.
And the scene right before that where The Rock turned the chicken. He turned the chicken keychain, the toy chicken, into an actual chicken and had him distract the hellhounds.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, this movie was madness, but in all the best ways.
Yeah. There you go. It was madness in all the best ways.
Yes. Like, you could tell that they had fun making this movie.
Yeah.
I was upset, right? You want to know the one knock that I had about this movie?
What?
There was no blooper reel.
Yeah, I would have loved to see.
Fact,
the blooper reel probably was
hilarious. That they had the best time filming this movie.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that they had the best time filming this movie.
I mean, J.K. Simmons played the most craziest Santa that you could ever see, and yet it was literally like this: Santa Claus as J.K. Simmons.
Yes. Santa Claus.
Just take J.K. Simmons and just imagine him as trying to be trying to play Santa Claus. And that's what you got. That's what you got.
That's what you got.
That is what you got.
And it's funny, like, because I know he's like a good actor, right?
Yes.
And he is a fantastic actor and can play multiple roles. But watching that movie, I was just like, I was upset because I was like, he should have been in more.
Yeah, they could have did a little bit more with him. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought too.
They could have did more with him. Yeah. Like, he was in the movie for like maybe 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And he didn't really do much.
Yeah.
Other than like sit and talk with the kids, right? So I was just like, I kind of wanted them to do more with his character, but I wasn't mad at this movie at all. I had a great time, except for the fact that there were kids in the theater, and they were unruly kids in the theater.
My experience was the total opposite. There was nobody in the theater. There was about 10 adults in the theater when I went to see it. And it was like, wow, nobody's seeing this movie. Nobody's bringing their kids. And my thought was, nobody's bringing their kids to see this?
Yes. Also, another knock that I have for this movie, I think it came out too soon.
Yeah, maybe.
I think this movie should have come out Friday.
Maybe, yeah. Matter of fact, it should have come out Friday. It should have come out Friday.
Bro, it's the day after Thanksgiving.
The day after Thanksgiving.
This is the week.
This is the week.
Start rolling out new Christmas movies.
This is the week it should have came. It came out too soon.
It came out too soon.
Yeah. People still were not quite there yet.
Yes. There are people still fighting.
Yeah.
Bucking against the grain.
Yeah.
Against those of us celebrating Christmas too early.
And, you know, and then there were still people dealing with the effects of the election and trying to, still processing all of that angst and all of that anger. So
I mean, in that case, you should have gone to see this
movie. It would have made you feel a little bit better.
It would have made you feel a little better.
Yeah. They would have made you, forget your troubles. Come on, get happy.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Because
again, I've mentioned it multiple times. That's why I go to the movies, so I can forget about my troubles and woes for just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
That's also why I take naps. For that same reason.
Yeah.
For that same reason. I may have problems, but I will deal with them on the other side of this nap.
That's right.
They still gonna be there when I wake up, so we'll deal with it then.
At least I'll be refreshed.
Hello. And may have a little bit more energy to deal with these problems. Might come up with better solutions in my, I might dream about a solution and wake up and be like, that could actually work.
Yeah, I know what I'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could actually work. But I thought this movie was great. Yeah. I thought, I think people should go see it. Yes. I think you should give it a chance. Give it a shot.
A chance. Don't wait till it comes out next year on video or whatever. Yeah. Go see it now.
I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't come out on video Friday. But,
because they're trying to recoup some of that money that they spent on it.
So I'm definitely going to purchase it.
Oh, definitely when it comes out.
I might even go get the physical copy.
It is definitely on my radar, and it will join the Christmas pantheon.
Yeah, because I had way too much fun.
Yeah, I did
watching that movie.
I did. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so just go give it a shot, right? Yeah. I wanted to get. That's not what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what I want to talk about, but it's not what I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about something else because there has been This one's a little more serious.
Okay. We can do serious.
That's kind of why I got the fun stuff out the way first. This is a little more serious because today it was announced that right before, I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't seen anything today.
Idris Elba is in talks to play, why did I just forget his name? Hold, please.
Go ahead.
He-Man.
What?
The live action He-Man. He's not in talks to play He-Man.
Okay.
He's not in talks to play He-Man.
Oh, you know how I feel about that.
He is not in talks to play He-Man. He is in talks to play Man-at-Arms.
Okay.
In the live action He-Man movie.
Okay.
So I wanted to bring that up because this is going to, if he is indeed chosen to be Man-at-Arms, this is going to bring up a recurring problem.
Yes.
That people are having currently, even right now, because I don't know if you've seen the backlash that the How to Train Your Dragon live action movie is receiving.
I've been hearing some stuff, yes.
Because the girl who plays Astrid in the movie. There are people who are upset because they're like, she's black. Right? And they're like really upset. I've even seen some people say they're ruining the historical character, and I'm like, fam, you mean like the movie about dragons?
The movie about dragons?
The movie about dragons.
And how to train one?
The historical depiction of the movie about dragons.
Oh, what history book was you reading?
Okay. And sure, you're like, that could be about like Vikings and that can be the main issue, right? But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing.
Okay.
And I'm like, people are upset because this woman is playing Astrid, right? Here's the thing, Uncle Greg, the actress who's playing her, her father's white.
Wow.
And her mother is mixed black and white.
Wow.
She is 1/4.
Yeah, she's
black.
Yeah, she's. I was just
like she's 1/4. You mean that's who we're mad at?
Yeah.
And if you look at the side by side comparison, who else was going to play her?
Really?
She looks exactly like the animated character.
Wow. Okay. Which is probably why she got the job, because she looks so much.
She looks just like her.
Okay.
Like you throw a blonde wig on her.
Wow. Same person. Wow.
Same person, which is crazy, right? Also, because How to Train Your Dragon, the movie, the first movie, this character, Astrid, you know who voiced her in the first movie?
Who?
America Ferrera.
What?
Who is, guess what? Not white.
Not white.
And I can't think of her name, but in the subsequent movies, the actress who played her was, I believe, from the Philippines.
Wow.
Guess what? She wasn't.
Not white.
She wasn't white. So it leads to, it's leading to a bigger problem with, these movies and like, should it matter in like fictional? I know the answer. I believe you know that. I think we're going to have the same agreement. Should it matter about fictional works?
No. They're fiction. Subject to the interpreter. Subject to the to the whim of the director. Subject to the whim of the writers. Subject to the whim of the producers. It's again, and because here's the thing, as you were talking, I'm thinking in my mind, when they make movies like that, the goal is to do what? Okay, of course we want to say entertain, but the main goal is to do what?
Make money.
To make money. So again, you're going to pick the best person who you think will be some sort of box office draw to get people in the seats, or to get people watching it on stream, or to get people to buy the video when it comes out. But your goal at the end of the day is to do whatever it is you think is necessary to make money. To recoup the money that's being spent on this film.
You're right. because you're already at a down. You're already climbing an uphill battle because who in their right mind asks for a live action How to Train Your Dragon?
That was my question when I first heard about it. I was like,
who asked for that?
Who wanted to see that?
Who asked for a live action How to Train Your Dragon?
Who? Are you going to have live dragons?
Like, what are we talking about here? Like,
no.
And even seeing Idris Elba in talks to play Man at Arms, who wants a live action He-Man?
We had that, and it did not do well.
Who wants to do a live action? You know what they should do? They should start taking some of these live action movies and start animating them.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more intrigued than that.
How about that?
Take some of these live action movies and animate
them. Yeah, the ones that you talking about, the ones that already exist.
Yes,
and putting them Die Hard animated. That's a good idea. And you heard it here first, so we want to check.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Like, do it like live action movies. Animate them.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Good idea. That is that would be a really interesting idea.
That's why, you know what I'm pushing for?
You know who's doing that? Who just did that?
Who?
DC.
What they do?
As a matter of fact, it's on. It's on. Who shows
Max?
DC? It's on Max now.
Yeah.
Watchmen.
Yes.
Watchmen.
Yes, they
did. And all they did was take the movie. Because I watched it the other, because I'm thinking they did something different.
It's a shot-for-shot remake?
Almost. It's the same movie. It is the same movie. It's the same story.
See, I applaud you for that.
Yeah. See, and I've watched it I watched it initially because I thought it would be something different.
Yeah.
But even as I was watching, I was like, oh, this is the same movie.
Yeah.
They just redid it. I don't know what their reasoning behind it was. Maybe we need to look into that, but I don't know what the reasoning behind it was. But they did, instead of reversing it and did it animation first
and then live action,
they did it live action first and now animation.
See, that's great. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. So if and whenever you watch it, you're going to see. And the matter of fact, they're doing it in 2 parts. You're going to see it's the same movie.
See, that's great.
And maybe with some little tweaks here and there, but basically it's the same story.
Yeah. But a follow-up to the other point that we were just talking about. Yeah. So what if, like, because one of the defenses, right, in this argument about people of color playing characters who were white once.
Fictional
characters who were white once is what if I love the example. The one example that they use is what if they cast a white person to play Black Panther?
Okay.
So then it's like, would you be mad about that?
I wouldn't be mad about it.
Right.
But I would be a little bit concerned only because it's black. And, you already know the Black Panther, Wakanda.
Right.
Only
but it's a fictional place.
It's a fictional place.
It's a fictional place.
And a fictional character. So again, I guess you could say, the same rules apply. The same rules apply. So we should give it some grace. So here's the thing. Would I go see it? I don't know. I might.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not.
I might. I don't know. Right now, I'm not saying I'm not committing to it, but I'm not going to say. I had an argument with somebody one time online about something like that. As a matter of fact, the person who I was arguing with pointed out to me that there was because I read the comic books off and on throughout my life.
Okay.
He said that there was a period where there was a white Black Panther. I don't know the storyline or what was behind it. So I couldn't even argue and say, well, no, it wasn't. I didn't really do any research in it because obviously at the end of the day, whoever it was, they were not the Black Panther long. And number 2, probably they usurped the role. And so that's probably why they weren't the Black Panther long. Because at the end of the day, you go to comic books.
Colonizers going to be colonizers.
There you go.
Colonizers going to be colonizers.
There you go.
I mean, I'd go watch it if that's the story they told.
Yeah. Yeah.
You tell that story.
You tell that story.
Tell that story. Please. Tell that story. I'd go watch that.
But I don't know. I don't know because traditionally, yeah, that is kind of sticky because Black Panther.
Yeah.
Africa. Well, there are white people in Africa. No. Sorry, not here.
I'm just like,
nah.
I don't think it's it's not a valid debate, right?
No.
You can try to make it okay, so maybe you might have one. It's not the only one that matters. Like, it's not like these are all fictional works of art, bro.
Yeah. And again, like I said before, fiction is subject to, is subject to the interpreter.
Yeah, and
you can
while one, I do agree that we do need better roles, better characters for people of color.
Mm-hmm.
Until such a time, we're gonna do it. It's the same argument you could have about the show that we about Say Nothing. We were just talking about if instead of hiring traditional Irish actors, they got a whole bunch of like people from England to come over and use an Irish accent.
Yeah,
it's honestly the same problem I had, bro. The first time I heard Damson Idris's real accent after playing Franklin Saint on Snowfall, I was like, fam, you telling me out of all of Compton, there is nobody you couldn't find who could play that role?
You couldn't find. And you couldn't find nobody to play that role.
Now, don't get me wrong. He did great.
No, he was crazy.
He was great.
He was crazy
as Franklin Saint.
Yes.
But you mean to tell me out of all of Compton, you couldn't find anybody to play that role? If we're being honest, same thing said for the guy who was the star in All American. Because when I first heard that he wasn't from like that, he's using an American accent.
The same thing even with Idris Elba. It's like when I found out that he was English, I was like, what?
I'm sorry, this is what you really sound like? It blows my mind every time I hear Colin Farrell really speak.
Yeah, because when he goes into his English his Irish dialect, I'm like, oh God.
They showed a clip for of his final speech the last day of shooting for the Penguin. He used his not used, but he spoke
regular.
He spoke regular. I was like, something here feels off because he spoke regular, right? But he was still in full costume.
In penguin drag.
And I was like, excuse me, sir. I don't know who's doing this voiceover work, but can you tell them that this is not what the penguin sounds like and that I need them to make the penguin sound like he's supposed to? Thanks. Thanks. But like, it's the same argument that can be had.
It's, you know what? And it's a sticky argument. Because here it is again, going even when I think we talked about it in a previous pod, Snow White, which is going to be coming out soon, I think.
They showed the
Renee Ziegler, who is Hispanic, is playing Snow White. And then the other thing is the fact that they're not having the 7 dwarves. So is she rocking with 7 dudes or what? Or is it going to be 7 anything? Or is it just going to be basically...
No, it is 7 dwarves. The problem with the 7 dwarves is, one, they are not called dwarves. They're like, it's like 7 thieves or some crap like that.
Okay.
But they are CGI'd.
Oh, yes.
They didn't actually use little people.
They didn't actually use little people. And so that was like 7 little people who did not get work.
Who didn't get work because you chose not to...
Yeah. So what were you going to do? Just multiply Peter Dinklage? Anyway, but it's a sticky situation because here's the thing: you wouldn't put in. I was talking with my wife about it. I said you wouldn't put in the 7 dwarfs because that's not no longer quote unquote politically correct. I said, but here's the thing: the little people actors who did not get the roles in this movie, they're probably all sitting around saying, "But wait a minute." Looking at Snow White, say, but she ain't Snow. She ain't white.
So we supposed to be cool with that.
We supposed to be all right with that.
But the 7 roles that are meant for us, of the very few roles that we can get,
have. Yeah, exactly.
The very few options we can get.
Here's the thing. if they need, no. His acting ability has transcended the fact that he's a dwarf. Peter Dinklage.
Yes.
But if they need a little person, that he's the go-to.
That's true. And they could have called him, but I'm almost positive, right? In the same way that there were that you thought Renee Zegler was cool for the job. I almost promise you there are 6 other little, you didn't even need to call him one. There are 7 little people who would have gave you 7 completely different personalities as the 7 Doors have, that would have crushed it.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, they're actors.
They're actors.
They're actors.
That's all you need.
You just needed 7 actors.
It's just for this specific role, I need a certain body type.
Exactly.
I needed actors, but for this particular role, a certain body type was needed.
Yeah.
So
so it's like when we do stuff like that, being quote unquote politically correct, that's when it gets, and to me that's when it gets a little sticky, and it gets I can't get with it, because again, that was, to me, that was unnecessary. That was all right. That's too much. We're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Absolutely. But I do think that I am tired of this argument.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of it too.
I'm like, fam, you're getting angry over fictional characters.
Yeah.
And sure, they were drawn white.
They were drawn
the first time, right?
Does that mean that they had to stay that way?
Yes. I'm like, so like this was okay, but everybody was just supposed to this is not okay to accept someone who is a majority white in the role of a white person, of a 100% white person. That was not okay. But we were all just supposed to accept Scarlett Johansson in Ghost in the Shell. She's not white, ladies and gentlemen.
The character of
if you watch the anime, it's an anime. She's not white. But we were supposed to just accept ScarJo, and be cool with ScarJo.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal played the Prince of not Cleveland.
Yeah, he was
not Cleveland. He was the Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Last I checked, Jake Gyllenhaal isn't Persian.
Not a bit.
Not at all. But we were supposed to just that was fine.
Yeah, that was okay.
That was okay.
Yeah,
I love him, right, in every role he's ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Depp was Tonto.
Yeah. Now they did have a problem with that one.
Yes, they did.
They did,
and rightfully so,
because
Johnny Depp is not Native American,
and there are Native American actors out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of them just got screwed for an Oscar.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of them just got screwed for an Oscar.
Yep.
I don't know where I was going with this.
I know. It's like, you know what? I think we go down this rabbit hole all the time when somebody does this, man, and we end up talking about it. It's like, when is it gonna stop? Now, mind you, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see nobody white playing Dr. Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or something like that. Even in an animated. I don't want to see that. No, I don't want to see that. But again, it's crazy out. It's crazy. It is crazy. It's like, again, and my thing is this: if they are qualified, if they're qualified, if the actor is qualified, again, I don't know. I'm torn between that and also keeping the role if it's a traditionally black role, black or whatever, Yeah,
because if we're being honest, you kind of gotta. This is one of those you need to pick a side.
Yeah,
because it's like either
it's gotta be the title, pick a side,
right? Pick a side.
Yeah.
Because either you have to be okay, with the best actor getting the role, unless it is. Like for fiction work, we're
strictly for fiction.
Strictly for fiction,
not for nonfiction. Nonfiction is
for nonfiction. If you don't get,
it's like no.
This is strict. I am strictly speaking works of fiction.
Yeah.
You either got to pick a side. You either got to go with best actor for the role, which could weirdly be a white person playing and be okay
with that.
A white person playing a role that in the fiction was black.
Mm-hmm.
Or everybody stick to their own roles.
Mm-hmm. One or the other. Yeah. Pick a side.
You got to pick a side.
It's like, and here's the thing, and we got to stop going crazy when it doesn't happen like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to boycott the movie. Renee Ziegler is playing Snow White. I'm not taking my daughter to see. Your daughter probably doesn't even know that Snow White.
Right, because did you show her the new Snow White? Did you show her the OG Snow White?
Exactly.
No.
And it doesn't know about it and doesn't care. Doesn't care.
No, she doesn't care about it.
She doesn't care. So take her to see the movie. This
is just you as a traumatized adult not dealing with a lot of things.
You're putting your trauma on your child. So it's like that when they take it there, or like you said, Idris Elba possibly playing Man at Arms. All the purists will be calling. Will be complaining about it. It's like, well, why is Idris? Because first of all, you're probably not even going to know it's Idris Elba because of the fact that he's going to be so in makeup and whatnot. It's probably going to be unrecognizable. You'll know the voice, but probably won't be able to tell it's him.
Unless they show his face.
Again, here's the thing. He did that. They did that with him in Marvel, in the Thor movies.
Yeah.
They put him in the Thor movies, but the role he got was he was a god, and in the comic books he was white.
And if we're being honest, I had no idea.
And see,
I had no idea until recently that Heimdall was white.
Most people had no idea because they didn't.
Then, I mean, if we're being honest, like I should have, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like the Norse mythology. Mm-hmm. He's a Norse god.
He's a Norse god.
All of them.
Vikings.
Yeah. Understood. Understood. Mm-hmm. But, I hate having these conversations.
I know. It's because they're so...
I try to avoid them at all costs, but after a while, you kind of get annoyed. It gets annoying.
That's it. You just get annoyed with it because it's like, you know what? But this is how Hollywood rolls. This is the way they do stuff. And you just get annoyed with when people just keep... my thing is this. All right, I can understand you being a little upset by it. Again, I get it. I understand because I get upset by it. But by that same token, I'm like, okay, but do not boycott the movie because of that. Boycott the movie if it's a bad movie. Give the art a chance to exist.
I could understand that if they weren't completely wrong about this actress's genealogy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I could see, sure, you upset. It would be valid if she was 100% African American.
Mm-hmm.
Given that she is not 100% African American.
But see, most people, you did the research and found that out. Most people aren't going to do that. They're just going to take it.
Yeah, they saw a picture and said, they saw a picture of how she looked and said, nope.
Not even realizing again. Yeah, they just saw a picture and said, nope, not her.
They said, nope, this ain't it.
Nope.
I'm not rolling.
I'm not. I can't accept her in this role.
I can't do it. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to. You can't make me.
Even though I may have not always been happy about it, but I've never not watched something because of that. No. Maybe I might have watched it and not enjoyed it as much, or maybe in some cases I did enjoy it. Again, my thing is this: even when they do, when they take black actors and put them in black in fictional, I'm talking about fiction, and they take black actors and put them in white roles again, which is kind of like where we are here. My thing is that, well, hey, until we start writing better roles for black actors,
we're gonna get the roles we can get.
We're gonna get the roles we can get,
and we're gonna crush it.
Yeah, and exactly. Give them the opportunity to try it, and let's see what they do with it. I remember they were talking, and there has always been talks. They were talking at one point about, well, especially with Daniel Craig retiring as James Bond. There had always been in talks about a possibility of there being a black James Bond. I know that at one point they were looking at Will Smith, and then the last point they were looking at was Idris Elba. Nah, you don't think so either? What's really interesting is that he did a cameo. In I think the last James Bond movie, he does a cameo, and it's almost like they were setting that up. It's almost like they were kind of like trying to do a test to see what he would look like on screen, or to see if people would be like, yeah. But because it wasn't a big role, but he does do a cameo, I think, in the last James Bond movie. And when they showed him, I was like, oh, they're trying to sneak Idris.
If we're being honest, I think they already have her.
Yeah.
Because I did watch the last James Bond movie, and if we're being honest, that was the first. She was let me get her name. I'm not going to disrespect anybody. Let me get her name. What was the last one called?
Okay, no, I can't think of the name.
007.
Well, again, it wasn't the girl who played Moneypenny.
Moneypenny?
No, well, the secretary.
No.
No, it wasn't her.
No.
Okay. Because she was black.
The last James Bond movie. Because she was in something else too. No Time to Die.
Okay, I know the girl. I know the girl you're talking about. I can't think of her name. What was? I know the girl. She was good. They're looking.
Whoa. Why is she not like one of the first people to show up? IMDb, I got to do better. Oh, Lashana Lynch.
Okay. They're looking at her?
In No Time to Die, James Bond is retired.
Yes.
So his designation 007 is given to someone else.
Yes.
Lashana Lynch, who is a black woman. Let's keep it going. You already have you already gave her the designation. Just give it to her. Let her keep it because he's dead.
She was good.
She was good. She was really good.
She was really
so let's just take this and let's just keep it going.
Yeah.
And start over again with Spectre. Let's just keep it going. But that would be way too much because not only is 007 a woman, but she's a black woman. Oh no. Oh no. There would be riots in the streets and uproars.
What? Oh my God, it would be Armageddon.
Armageddon if they get a black woman as, to play the next Bond.
Armageddon.
Call her Jane. Bond.
Jane Bond.
Jane Bond.
Jane Bond.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, my 2 cents. You got a 007 in the movie. She's a black woman. Why not just keep that going? But, nobody asked me anything. I think Idris Elba, had this been 20 years ago, sure.
That's what I thought about with Idris Elba. I said, 20 years ago.
He's too old to be doing it now.
He's a little bit long in the tooth for it now.
He's too old to be doing it now.
Yeah.
Especially with the length of time in between movies.
Yeah, he's a little bit. That he had, if like you said, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
he would have been.
He would have been fine.
He would have been
but
fine.
Not now.
No,
not now.
No.
Get somebody who I don't know and who I've never seen before in a screen ever.
Yeah, better that. Better
let's find somebody new who
and somebody new and young. Then get some longevity out.
Yes.
Of. Yeah.
But I don't care if they're white, black, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Mexican, as long as they can pull off, as long as they suave, as long as, you know, as long as they're debonair, they're smooth, they gotta have this,
they gotta have style.
They gotta have style. They gotta have class. They got, you know, they gotta just be smooth brothers, man. Like, you just gotta be real smooth.
Now, again, to me personally, Daniel Craig he had the attitude and the smoothness. He didn't have the look, like the kind of like movie star look.
Yeah.
But that previous Bonds have always had. But he had the attitude. So that you didn't even see all of that. You know, he was just cool. You know, he walk into a room, he button his, just the way he would button his coat.
Way he would walk. And if we're being honest, them blue eyes just kind of, they just sucked you right in. And you were just like, you know what?
Yeah, he had Bond attitude.
Yes. He had the aura.
He had
the Bond
aura. There you go. He had the Bond aura on point.
From the very beginning.
From the beginning. Yeah, from the beginning.
So, you know, I was not mad at that at all. So I would just want whoever gets it next.
Yeah.
To, you know.
They got to bring that.
They have to have that.
They got to bring that.
But then, right, not only have that, right, because I think Daniel Craig had it. Mm-hmm. Like, he had the Bond aura, took it, put his spin on it, elevated it to a new level from what Pierce Brosnan did.
Yeah.
And I think Pierce Brosnan, he did the same thing from... was there one in between Sean Connery and Pierce Brosnan?
Yes. Roger Moore. He was the one who...
Yeah, like he was
the one who had the most... Well, and when I say that, I say he was the one... There were some other ones too, but he had the most movies.
Okay.
Yeah, he had the most movies.
Yeah.
There was like the Connery era. There was the what's his name? What's what I just called his name? Why can't I call his name now? The Roger Moore era.
Yeah.
And then it was Pierce Brosnan era. And then
Daniel Craig took it over.
Yeah, Daniel Craig era. There had been others also, but again, it was, you know, their eras were very short lived. Maybe one or two movies.
Yeah, they didn't have it.
They didn't have it.
No,
they did not have it. But those were the ones who had it. Connery, Moore, and Brosnan, and Craig. They had it.
So I just want the next one to just have whatever they had, take it, mix it, put your own spin on it, and then let's just take it off to another level.
Whoever.
And if we're being honest, I think that could be Lashana Lynch. But, you know, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents that nobody asked for.
We'll have to be really, really, and you know what? Yeah, we'll have to be really, really open. Yeah, there's going to have to be.
And I am.
I'm open to
because
it.
I'm so sick of getting the same movies done the same way. Just come on.
Yeah.
With the exception of Christmas movies, because again, there have only ever been 5 Christmas movie plots.
Pretty much.
Ever in life.
It's always
there have only ever been 5 Christmas movie plots.
Always the same plot.
That's it.
You go see Christmas movies and you watch Christmas movies to feel good.
That's it.
To feel good. Now they're starting to do them a little edgier with like quote unquote Christmas horror or Christmas suspense. So they put like a little suspense.
Oh yeah, because me and my dad did watch Krampus last night.
Yeah, see, they started to do stuff like that with it, but even then, it's like it's still
the same thing.
Still basic formula.
You still know what's gonna happen. Because again, horror, like Christmas movies. Ain't but 5 plots.
Same thing.
Ain't but 5 plots. There's either a demon that's haunting you from something. There's a spirit somewhere. There are zombies somewhere.
Or a serial killer.
Ain't but 5 plots in any horror movie.
It's just a matter of how you place them.
That's it. It's just where you place it makes your movie good or bad.
Yeah.
And speaking of really bad, good, you know... And Christmas. I watched one of my favorite horrible Christmas movies the other day. It's called The Holiday Engagement. I don't know if you've ever seen it. No. If you haven't, I think you should watch it.
You watch a lot of the Hallmark Christmas.
And that is exactly why I saw it. And crazy enough, my mom and I watched it once on Hallmark, and I've never seen it on Hallmark again. So I was like, but I enjoyed the movie so much, right? I bought it because I needed to see it again. Because I'm like, I remember this movie. It's stuck in my brain. The plot line is stupid. It's horrible. I don't know why Like,
why did you? It's like why do I
enjoy this movie
Why do I
so
like
much?
this?
Yes, it's called The Holiday Engagement. It's about a woman who's engaged, right? And her fiance breaks up with her the day before, like the week of Thanksgiving. So she hires an actor to play her fiance.
Okay. I think I heard about that one. I think I saw the preview for it.
Yeah,
somewhere.
she hires an actor to play her fiance at Thanksgiving. And I'm just like, this movie wasn't great at all, but I love it. I watch it every year. And one of my favorite scenes is, as this is Thanksgiving week, one of my favorite scenes is the dad and the woman's dad is frying a turkey for the first time for Thanksgiving. And for those who do not know, frying a turkey is not something you should just try willy-nilly. Now,
it's not like frying chicken.
Yeah, it's not like frying chicken at all. It is not like frying chicken at all. Right. So the dad wanted to fry a turkey. So they're frying it. He put the turkey in the fryer. And then he puts the turkey in the fryer. He's like, we just got to leave it, let it sit for like an hour, come back, take it out. It should be done. He turns around and he's walking away. And as he's walking away, the whole pot starts shaking.
I saw that part.
And then the turkey shoots out.
I saw that. I saw that part of the movie.
Hysterically.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I love this.
Because even when I saw that, I was looking at him when he did that. I was like, I don't think you should be doing that. That doesn't look right. And
like,
so that's what made me not turn.
Right.
Because now I'm saying, okay, I got to see what happens with this. And exactly what that's. Yeah. I remember that.
Oh, from the very beginning, I was like, one, sir, you are around way too much grass. Your whole house will be on fire.
Yeah.
Like this, where you are frying your turkey in the wrong place. And then I was just like, because for those who also don't know, I do fry turkeys every year for Thanksgiving. Have been for a couple years now. We fried a turkey once and have not baked a turkey.
Haven't turned back.
Haven't turned back.
Yeah.
Fried it once and have it turned back.
Wow.
So, I had to, believe it or not, I had to become an expert in frying turkeys like in a week. Not even like a couple days. Because we bought the turkey fryer, right? And what we were supposed to do, this has nothing to do with anything, but we're here now. So we're going to end after I tell the story. But we had the turkey and we wanted to fry it, but my dad was like, he wanted to do a test bird first. Because we were like, we didn't want to mess up
a turkey
on Thanksgiving. Messing up a turkey on Thanksgiving, sacrilege.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
Nah.
So we were like, we're gonna do a test bird, and time, got away from us, so we didn't get the chance to do a test bird. So my dad was like, no, we're not gonna fry the turkey. We'll try next year once we've tested this on a turkey, know what we're doing for sure. And I was like, I said okay, but okay with it, I was not. And then talking to my sister, she kind of amped me up and put a battery in my back. She was like, you think we need to do a test bird? She was like, I think you could do it. She was like, I don't think you need a test bird. She was like, I think you could fry that turkey on Thanksgiving. I was like, you do? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I think I can fry that bird too. I said, so we gonna fry that bird? And she was like, yeah, you gonna fry that bird? And I was like, all right, turkey fried. That turkey gonna be fried. We gonna do it. And then I went and told my dad, I was like, Dad, we fried this turkey. We fried this turkey. We gonna just do it. I believe in us. We gonna do it. And then turkey came out great. It came out because it's not rocket science.
It's just a matter of doing what you're supposed to do.
That's it. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. If it says. It's just a matter of following the directions. It's not like you.
It's following instructions.
Yeah, you follow the basics.
Now, these are very easy instructions to mess up, but these are also very easy instructions to just follow.
Just to follow. Follow them to the letter until you learn better.
Yes.
But don't be in it. If it's the first time you're trying to do it, don't improvise.
No, don't improvise.
Do what the directions say.
Yes.
And then
you can,
maybe about 4 or 5 turkeys in.
And then you can be like, you know what? Learn what you want to do, try different things.
I want to try
That's
this.
when
Then you experiment.
You don't expect
not from the beginning. In the beginning, you follow the directions.
Yes.
To the letter.
Or if you want to experiment, don't do it on the Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, no, do it on a week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
On a squab or something.
Or something like or chicken or something like that.
A big chicken. Get a big chicken and do it on that. Oh, before we go off, because of the fact they've been they've been playing The Wizard of Oz quite a bit on Max this week.
Have you seen the gun?
Yes. I turned it on, and I just happened to run across it, and they were almost at that point, and so I sat there and I watched it, and then I was like, oh heck, he's got a gun.
I told you he's got a gun.
And so then I called my wife. I said, Ash, look, the Scarecrow is packing, and she was like, she looked and she said, wait. I said, he's got a gun. She's like, where he get a gun from?
I don't know.
I said
he got a gun.
He's like, there's more than straw up in here.
Right.
The Scarecrow's from the hood.
He from the hood. He from the hood. He from the hood.
He said, I ain't scared of no witch.
I ain't scared of no witch. What you got? I got it. He was ready.
He was like, clack, clack.
But he was ready.
What?
I told you. Scarecrow had a gun.
He was packing heat. I was cracking. I was like, and Ashley was like, she said, has that always been there?
It's always been there.
She said, she said, did they just CGI that? I said, no. I said, according to Moe, it's always been there.
It's always been there.
I said, until you mentioned it, and until I just saw it last week, I had never paid that any attention. Never. And then it was like, he's packing a 6-shooter.
He sure is.
The funny part was that then the flying monkey, that at some point it disappeared.
It disappeared, never to be seen again. And I'm like, that would have come in handy. Because if I'm fighting a witch, first thing I'm gonna do is unload 6 shots.
I'm taking out 6 of the soldiers.
Y'all do what y'all got to kapow, 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 kapow.
You know what I'm saying? I'm taking out 6 of them. 6 of them is going down. And the rest of them probably going to be running for cover.
Because where did he get a gun? I ain't never seen guns in Oz before.
Oh my God, that was so funny. I was like, he's
packing heat.
Packing heat.
Scarecrow packing heat.
Scarecrow is packing heat, y'all. He was from the hood.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't playing lions and tigers and bears. Oh yeah.
My. He said, lions and tigers and bears. Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but this was fun.
This was fun.
This was fun. This is a good happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thursday to those who don't and are just accepting the day off.
If you're frying that turkey, be careful.
Yeah, if you have my number, call me. I'll give you some pointers.
Yeah.
Because I will be frying turkey. I have actually 2 turkeys to fry Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Frying turkey for me and a turkey for somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It must, yeah. But we can talk about it off camera.
Yeah. But until the next one.
We out.
Peace.